Hello, I am Helen Packham, and this is Words That Change Lives, the podcast for coaches, consultants, and leaders who are looking to harness the power of their words to change lives for the better. And today's episode, I have actually had to re-record. I recorded it last week, and then there was a big blow-up event online, and it's all to do with the topic that I'm discussing today, and that is legacy phrases. That is a term that I have coined myself. However, it is something that has been around for eons. It is a memorable, meaningful phrase that reflects what you do in terms of your core mission, your expertise, and your values in a simple yet powerful statement that people remember. Now, last week, I recorded a completely different episode of this because, as I mentioned, what's happened over the last 7 days is there has been online a big blow up to someone claiming a legacy phrase of let them. So this is Mel Robbins' new book. It's a huge movement that she's created. She's a big player in the industry. And Cassie Phillips, who wrote a poem called Let Them, has claimed that it has been taken and used. There's now trademark challenges and all sorts of things going on. But it actually brings into question something really important, because I put a post out on social media talking about this, and I really enjoyed the responses as well. And some people were saying it doesn't mean anything. If you have a phrase like let them, it doesn't actually mean anything. There's nothing groundbreaking about it. It's all been used before. Nothing's really new. And yes, I agree with you. However, what I do feel with legacy phrases like let them, and I'm going to go into many more examples in today's episode, is that they do have power. We've seen from how many people picked up let them, even though they've heard it before, even though they've used it before, they've picked that up and they've used it, and it's meant something to them and it's helped them with mindset shifts. Now, there were arguments online that these types of things are pithy, they're surface level, they don't create deep-rooted change. Well, maybe, and that's where therapy comes in. But if you're looking for mindset motivation, if you're looking for elements of personal development that can keep you going, that inspire you, that enable you to take action, then from an audience perspective, that's what a legacy phrase does. And if it's used correctly, citing sources and all of those sorts of things, it can be really, really powerful. So I just wanted to start that off before we dig into today's episode. So on today's episode, I'm going to be looking at the psychology of why this works. And also, I guess, from a marketing perspective, I'm going to be giving you real life examples. And I'm also going to share with you how you can create yours too. So let's dig in. So as I said, a legacy phrase is unique, but it may have been used before. But it's how you make it unique that is really important. And as long as you're not stepping on any trademarks or you are citing sources of where it might be inspired from. And you've got to think of it like a personal mantra or a message that you can use across your content, branding, and public speaking. So this movement that you might want to create around a phrase is something that you would be known for through your unique storytelling, your unique approach, and how you help people with your services. And the more that you use this simple term, this simple phrase, the more you're going to be known for that phrase. You may have a book around it, you may have a keynote, you may have programs, you may have all sorts of assets around this or ways to deliver this information. And that's the essence of what a legacy phrase is. And why it's so powerful and why it so works is, as we know, this is a podcast about communication. Language is one of the most powerful tools that we have. And if you carefully choose a phrase that can evoke strong emotions, it can influence perceptions, it can create a lasting connection with your audience, then it's going to be remembered. So when people hear a well-crafted legacy phrase, it immediately resonates with them, and they can start associating that phrase not only to you, but to themselves, their desires, their wishes, and their wants. Then it sticks, and it can cause a real positive ripple, which is why I'm covering this, because essentially that's what we want, right? Yes, we want to sell our books. Yes, we want to deliver our keynotes, but we also want to make a difference. So our brains are wired to actually remember short, impactful phrases. And a legacy phrase works because it's so simple. It's so simple. Some people could say too simple, which has happened over the last week, but it's directly tied to an emotion and a transformation. And I am going to use other examples, but Let Them is a really good example of how that's worked for Mel Robbins. It's been used in eons, it's tied to Byron Katie, it's tied to other types of modalities and practices, but yet she has marketed that phrase in a way that has enabled her expert status, reinforced her social proof, and people have started re-recognizing her for what she was saying. So it does work. And as I say, there's no replacement for therapy. We're not really talking about therapy here. We're talking about ways that you can be seen as a thought leader. You can get recognized for how you can help people, and you can do that through really simple, powerful, communicative ways. So it builds authority. It increases your impact because when you simplify your message, you're making it easier for your audience to connect with your work on a deeper level. And it also clarifies the transformation you offer and ensures the message lands with impact. It also increases your reach because the more you're talking about this or using this, it's a very viral worthy type of thing. It can be shared through screenshots online. It can be shared through various different ways on social media. People talking about these sorts of things enables it to go viral. So it can really expand your reach because of its simplicity. And people share phrases they connect with and usually cite the source of those phrases. So I'm going to go through some examples with you. And there are loads out there. There are loads. I'm sure you can think of one or two or three, but I'm going to go through some examples that I've got here that really connect with me. So the first is Tony Robbins' legacy phrase. Now, if I could ask you what Tony Robbins' legacy phrase would be, it's unleash the power within. Unleash the power within is a very famous phrase. It's also a very famous event. It really encapsulates his ethos as a transformational, motivational speaker, someone who transforms thousands and thousands of people's lives through unlocking their potential, through stepping into their power. Unleash the power within is now synonymous with Tony Robbins. We've also got Brené Brown, daring greatly. Now, Brené was one of the first legacy phrases when I was kind of on my own personal development journey. I was starting up my own business that really stuck with me, daring greatly, and the book around this and the man in the arena quote, daring greatly, meant a lot to me. It was a legacy phrase that really connected with my need for vulnerability and courage and the core themes of Brené's work. And it really did encapsulate the powerful concept that invites people to challenge their fears, step into their greatness, and all that sort of thing. So daring greatly is a very good example of a legacy phrase. We've also got another favourite here. Now, when I say to you Simon Sinek, what do you say? If you know Simon Sinek, you're going to say start with why. Yeah. So Simon's legacy phrase really emphasizes the foundational principle behind his leadership philosophy, which encourages leaders or business owners or anybody to define their purpose before taking action. It's very simple, but it's really important. So for many years, I actually used this when I was teaching people how to deliver training and briefings and stuff like that using the Bernice McCarthy format method. And start with why is always where you start. If you're starting with why, you're going to be connecting with your audience. You're going to be connecting with yourself. You're going to be understanding the purpose. So that's a very famous legacy phrase. And then perhaps my favorite one that I want to give an example of is Marie Forleo. Now, this one I use all the time with my kids, and it is everything is figure outable. Now, I know that came from Marie's mum. She used to say that to her. I think Marie has a book around this. She created a whole movement around this. And essentially what it does is it simplifies problem solving into a mindset shift. So it's making it okay that in that moment, you may not have the solution to the problem, but it's going to be figured out because everything is figure outable. So simple. I remember my daughter was having a hard time the other week and I said that and she didn't like it in the moment because maybe it sounded a bit preachy or whatever, but afterwards it really resonated with her. And you see how powerful these few words are? Just 2 words, just 3 words. You see how powerful they are? And that's not to be taken lightly. in a good way and a bad way, right? Words have so much power. They really can change lives. So, how about you create your own legacy phrase to create a movement around your ideas, to be known as a thought leader in what you do? Let's dive in to how you can do that. The first thing you need to do is clarify your purpose and your mission. Start with why, which is what Simon Sinek says. So, why do you do what you do? And what transformation are you helping your clients to achieve? If it is clients, if it's a service-based business, whatever it is that you are selling or helping people with. What's the core change you want to create in the world? And have a think of sort of jotting down some keywords, some phrases around core purpose, mission, also values. We're going to come on to that in a little bit, but it's very much, it encapsulates who you are, what you do, why you're here, and really nice chunked up level that aligns with your strategy, aligns with your expert method, which if you don't know about an expert method, please watch the episode, listen to the episode on expert method. Once you've clarified your core purpose and mission, then you move on to your personal story. This is the core story. But when we're thinking about your personal story, it's about reflecting on the experiences and challenges that shaped your approach. Just like how rock can get shaped into many amazing different things over millions of years, right? Through your personal experience, what has happened to shape your approach? And how do these personal stories connect with who you want to help and your mission and what you want to create? So this reflection will help you to root your legacy phrase in something authentic and impactful. So we've looked at the purpose and the mission. We've started with why. Then we've reflected on the personal stories and what has shaped you to where you are now and what you're doing. Then we identify key values and themes. So it's about thinking, what are my value-driven mission actions? What values underpin why I do what I do and the way that I do what I do? So short words like, integrity, creativity, service, innovation, courage is one of mine, and that still is really important. What are important to you? What values and key themes are important for you in how you show up and how you're on your mission? And then it's time to think, shower, thought bath, brainstorm. So this is where you think of phrases, 2 words, 3 words, say them out loud, write them down, and see how they resonate with you. How does each phrase feel? How does it represent your mission and something your audience will connect with? And also, how does it connect with how you're showing up in terms of how you're sharing this stuff? Books, keynotes, other ways, programs, courses, workshops. How does this align with that? And then you got to kind of refine and test. So once you've got a few options, test it. Say them out loud, test them with other people, see how they land, just play around. And then you will find that you can come to a place. Now, what I will say about this is over the past year, I've been working with AI as a sweet spot co-creation tool. I call it the AI sweet spot, to be able to help myself and my clients to be even more creative, to be even more productive, whilst keeping humans at the center. And what I've done with regards to legacy phrases is I've created a custom GPT that guides a client through the process of creating their own legacy phrase. So if you would like support, it's in beta phase still at the moment. I am offering legacy phrase beta sessions where we'll use the AI tool that I've built to help you brainstorm and refine your legacy phrase, making sure it truly represents your mission and expertise. So we're going to look at your core values, we're going to look at your strengths, we're going to look at your mission. And I call it co-creation because the AI is the tool and I am a human and you are a human and we're working in conjunction with each other. So the tool isn't taking all of the heavy lifting. We are interacting with the tool, we are iterating and we are refining and we are landing on the perfect legacy phrase for you and your unique voice. If that's something that is of interest to you, please do get in touch. The information will be In the show notes, you can just book your session in straight away, or you can get in touch by contacting me, hello@helenpackham.com. I am continuing to use these beta sessions to collect data, to refine my approach. I'm building lots of custom tools. I'm loving how AI can help us collapse timelines and also increase creativity and productivity. But to leave you with one last thought, remember your legacy phrase is more than just a catchy statement. It's more than just a regurgitated couple of words. It's a powerful tool that you can make unique, and it can help you stand out as a leader in your field, increase your reach, and deepen the impact of your message, and also be remembered for the right things. So have a go. You can do this yourself. I've given you the information to do it. Or if you want to sign up to a legacy phrase beta session, the information is in the show notes, or get in touch. hello@helenpackham.com. Thanks for tuning in, and I can't wait to hear about the incredible legacy phrases you're going to create.